travelled to a charming town in Rajasthan. I'm in the beautiful rustic town of Rajasthan on my way to a fairy tale palace where there's a special link between family and food. Rajasthan was founded almost 400 years ago, and it's surrounded by the oldest mountain range in the world, the Aravallis. Until the middle of the last century, these mountains would have been covered in jungle, and hunting in them was common. I'm here to meet the royal Singh family at the utterly charming 350-year-old Devgarh Mahal Palace. And they can trace their family roots back to the 13th century. It's amazing. The family have invited me here to share in some of their food traditions and recipes which go back centuries. Their cuisine has been influenced by the old hunting customs of Rajasthan, and this region in particular, as Maharaja Nahal Singh explains.
This is a scene of a picnic.
Mm-hmm. So how old was this painting?
It was painted in 1808. One of my forefathers, Raj Gokul Dasji, he just returned from a hunt.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting there. The kebabs or sulas are being prepared.
Yes,
Chink has been shot. There's a man who is hacking fish which are coming in the stream. Yeah. And here's a hare being skinned. So all that what was shot is being prepared.
It's so beautifully illustrated. And these recipes from the paintings have been passed down from one generation to the other?
Yes.
From feudal times through to the colonial era, hunting in the once densely forested mountains was popular in India's princely states, especially with the Maharajas. Killing a tiger was the ultimate trophy, contributing to the threat of extinction. Big game hunting was banned in India in the 1960s, and today all hunting is banned, but the recipes have survived. They just use different meats now. I'm on the palace rooftop with the Maharaja's wife, Queen Puratna, and his daughter-in-law, Princess Namrata, to see an ancient hunting recipe being made today. I expected a big leg of lamb or something, because if you were hunting, you'd expect a haunch or a chunk of meat. Palace executive chef Harilal Rajput is cooking jungli mas, which literally means jungle lamb. The meat is cooked in ghee or clarified butter with lots of dried chilies and a pinch of salt. Simplicity was the key in the days of a hunt, as they were limited by what was available and what they could carry with them. So this is the jungli mas. Do you know, I can't get over the number of chilies which you put in this,
yes,
in
but
this dish.
You see the ghee, the purified butter,
yes.
It mellows the spice.
Oh, does it?
So much. Yeah.
Oh,
and you can have all this and you'll never feel the burning in your stomach or anything.
Because I would think that would have given me such an acid attack inside.
No, it won't, but you'll have to choose proper chilies.
So, how old is this recipe?
It must be really old. For 500 years ago, they must have, chosen, because these are the spices which were readily with us. The salt, chili and ghee was always with you. So whatever meat came from the hunt was cut nicely, proper pieces and cooked.
The Queen attended many hunts when she was a child, and she had a specific job.
The dry sticks were picked by the children.
Right.
We would bring them along and the fire was lit and a vessel like this was put on top. The meat was made ready and my father, he would sit and cook.
Wow.
And we would be, so famished. So we had a lot of game. And we used to be on the elephant watching the wildlife. That's why we have this love for nature.
Yes. I can truly imagine that. The Queen now uses her passion for wildlife to help preserve animals. She's head of the Conservation Society in Rajasthan.
There's hardly any cover left.
Right.
And one feels so sad when the game is dwindling. There's hardly anything. And one feels very, very sad when they're trapping it. We are very, very keen that we start a sanctuary.
The jungli mas takes one. 1.5 hours to cook, and I'm joining the Maharaja, his son Prince Veerbhadra, and their wives for dinner. Must have a jungly mask.
I was not going to eat, but I think this is very appetizing.
It does, I know. It looks wonderful, doesn't it?
Yeah. How are you liking the jungly mass?
Not as hot as I thought it would be.
No?
But it does have quite a heat still. It is beautiful. But there's so much clarified butter in it.
Oh, you know, when you are not using such a lot of other ingredients, then the ghee has to be used for it to cook.
Thank you. Thank you. The simplicity of this dish has really impressed and inspired me to create my very own version of this jungle recipe with lamb, chilies and ghee. But I'm going to add a few more ingredients. Now the dish which I'm doing is called a sabut ran. Now sabut means whole and ran is the leg of lamb, an alternative to your usual Sunday roast. A very unusual way of preparing lamb, but my gosh, it is so succulent and delicious and juicy. First, roast the aromatic spice mix. I'm using 2 bay leaves, a teaspoon of coriander seeds, a teaspoon of cloves, a broken cinnamon stick, and a teaspoon of black pepper. The combination of cloves and cinnamon is just so lovely. It almost smells like Christmas. So you like your toast, so what we're trying to do is to release the natural oils from the spices. Once the bay leaves begin to brown and the intoxicating aromas start to waft through the air, the spice mix is ready to be ground into a powder. I like using a coffee grinder to do this. There is nothing better than grinding your own spices. Oh, just look. Oh. Next, onto the marinade. This is a green papaya which is unripe. Now the green papayas act as a souring agent. They've got a white flesh. Now you can find these in Thai supermarkets or you can find them in Indian specialty shops. Mix 2 tablespoons of this green papaya with 3 finely chopped garlic cloves, 3 inches of freshly grated ginger and 4 tablespoons of natural yogurt. Then I add all my spices to that. There's nothing better. Than having these delicious spices. Waste not, want not. That's fabulous. Give that a lovely mix. Add a pinch of salt to season and it's ready to marinate the meat. Make several piercings to the lamb so the delicious mixture can infuse the meat. Then massage thoroughly. Cover with tin foil and leave to marinate for 2 to 3 hours. When I first arrived in India, and I remember when my parents said me, I thought, oh my gosh, what am I doing here? You know, the culture shock and everything is so different. But actually, I'm so grateful to them for having actually sent me there, because I wouldn't have known my own roots or my culture or my identity, and I think that's what sort of held me in good stead. After the marinade has infused the meat for 3 hours, add 250 grams of fried onions and around a pint of water. Then this divine lamb is ready to be cooked. Cover with tin foil and place in a preheated oven at 200 degrees centigrade for 20 minutes, then reduce the heat to 180 degrees centigrade and cook for 2 hours. Every 20 minutes you baste it, and then 45 minutes before it's done you can take the foil out so it'll start browning beautifully and all the liquid will start getting absorbed and you'll have a wonderful thick gravy. Just look at that, wow. Gosh, it does smell wonderful. The finishing touches are a colourful mixture of freshly chopped coriander, juliennes of chilies, spring onions and tomatoes. This will make a beautiful fragrant gravy. Pop it back in the oven for another 5 minutes and then it's all ready to plate up. With the spring onions. Yum. I can smell the freshness. Of the tomatoes and all the spices which have been marinating. All I'm going to do now is to sprinkle some fried onions on top. And there you have a delicious leg of lamb. I think my royal friends would have been very impressed with this. Coming up.